I have watched The Shape of Water. The Shape of Water is about an nonverbal woman who falls in love with an amphibious creature who turns the scars on her throat into gills so they can live happily ever after underwater. The storyline is well written, however the fact that once again a able-bodied actress played the role, and when you are disabled you should hide because you are not acceptable to the norm of society, just blows my mind. Yes, the following looks very good for able-bodied persons who don't know anything about disability. Though the disabled character portrayed to have a full and independent life, she's employed, self-sufficient, intelligent, empathetic and the heroine of the film. There are definitely negative trails in the film for me. As a woman with cerebral palsy I know exactly how it feels to be underestimated just because of her disability. No matter if the person with a disability is employed, intelligent, self-sufficient etc., there will always be judgmental views. Why? We as communities with disabilities allow these ignorant views. The negative trails for me are, in the first place, the essence of a character with a disability isn't there. No matter how good an actor or actors is when they portrayed a character with a disability, they won't ever be able to grasp the essence of a person with a disability, because the essence of a person with a disability can't be taught. Secondly, every person with a disability has his/her off days, and when falls in love with their able-bodied person those off days becomes more regularly. The disabled person will have all these crucifying thoughts such as, how can I love anyone when I'm disabled, and will I ever have the certainty that he/she loves me for me and not feel sorry for me etc. That's only two negative trails I will highlight for now. The reality is that, although most marginalized groups managed to move out of the Dark Ages syndrome, people with disabilities is still in there, because we don't want to raise our voices and demand to be inclusive in all areas of society. I read the following two articles. The first article was, What Hollywood Gets Wrong About Disabilities, written by Robin Powell, who is a proud disabled woman as well as attorney, scholar and writer. The second article was, Disabled Women See Me Too and Think, What About Us, written by Anne Wafula Strike, who is a British Paralympic wheelchair racer and an ambassador for ADD International. The above two articles are the reason for my latest video. Robin Powell wrote in her article, Imani Barbarin, the hashtag's founder of Dis the Oscars, tweeted, Disability representation matters and it's time we come together and raise our voices as one. Robin went on and said, Hollywood can, and must, play an important role in changing how people with disabilities are treated. Film and television must finally reflect the rich tapestry of diversity, and it is my sincere hope that this will include people with disabilities. From the Me Too movement to Time's Up, actresses and actors are increasingly taking on issues of social justice. Now, more than ever, disability rights must be part of these important conversations. The link of Robin's article is https://www.huffingtonpost.com. Entry Opinion Powell, What Hollywood Gets Wrong About Disabilities, Us 5 and 9F0FFE4B0D4F5B66B1882. Anne Wafula Strike wrote in her article, When people talk about inclusion and diversity, disability is usually left out. The women's movement should be the place to change that. Disabled women are still struggling to find our place in the women's movement, and high-profile campaigns such as Me Too are a reminder of what a long way there is to go before we can say that our voices are being heard. Most things about disabled women's lives remain shrouded in taboo, our sexuality above all. In many African cultures, in particular, women with disabilities are still not respected, even by their families, and there are huge issues when it comes to disabled women taking over or inheriting family wealth. I don't want to bash feminism, or the women's movement, or campaigners in Hollywood or anywhere else, but I do want activists to pay more attention to the challenges disabled women face. Women with disabilities all over the world are trying to push forward, as I did, but it's hard when campaigning is still so focused on rights and opportunities for able-bodied women. The lack of disabled role models is a serious problem. For example, in the recent commemorations of the centenary of women's suffrage, Rosa May Billinghurst, known as the cripple suffragette, barely featured. Similarly, when we talk about gender and inequality, for example the pay gap, we are still predominantly talking about able-bodied women. Meanwhile, abuse of disabled women remains widespread in many parts of the world, including women with learning difficulties who may find it difficult to articulate their experiences, or be disbelieved when they try. The link of Anne's article is https://www theguardian.com Commentis free /2018/ma/08 Disabled People Me Too Women's Movement Inclusion Diversity. I can relate to both the above articles. Anne's article is closer to my heart. As a woman with a disability who endured sexual abuse from a young age, I never talked about that, because I knew no one would believe me. The older I got, the more pertinent it was to me, that when someone is disabled, that person hasn't the same rights as anyone else, and that needs to change. Just as Hollywood has a responsibility to ensure marginalized groups such as women, sexuality etc. are accepted worldwide, Hollywood has a responsibility to ensure that individuals with disabilities are treated with the same respect as anyone else. There are adequate actors and actresses with disabilities, who are able to play characters with disabilities, if only Hollywood would give them a chance. Every person with a disability deserves to be treated with respect, deserves to be heard, deserves to be treated as a human being. We must stop feeling and thinking, we are worthless and we deserve the scraps of life. Every one of us deserves so much more, and we should stop asking and start demanding the same rights as everyone else. Even when you feel no one is listening to you, keep going. Don't give up. Always remember, a small water ripple can become a mighty water current at the right time. The more we as individuals with disabilities raise our voices, the more the global societies will start taking notice of us. Change starts with us. Please subscribe to my channel. Peace. I wonder what will Netflix excuse be for employing a non-blind actor in their Daredevil series?